An executive summary of the best leadership principles from the #1 best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. 2 high schoolers are applying for Harvard. Both make great grades and got great scores on their SAT college aptitude exams. The kid on the left was a genius, but a lazy genius. School came easy to him, and so he barely studied and devoted all of his spare time to playing video games. The second kid on the right was of average intelligence, so she had to study very hard to make good grades. Rather than wasting her spare time with video games, she started a non-profit organization which helps provide school supplies to primary schools in Africa. She also made and managed all of the social media sites for this non-profit organization. Which student do you think got into Harvard? The second one did. The first was a genius but lazy. The second was smart but was industrious and proactive. The first habit of highly effective people is that they are proactive. Proactive people don't sit around and wait for their parents or for supervisors to tell them what to do. They take ownership of the situation, they take the initiative, and they work hard to accomplish goals. The second habit of highly effective people is to begin with the end in mind. This is a variation of backwards planning. I've already made a video about the importance of backwards planning. The hyperlink is in the description. Let's say this timeline represents the next 20 years. If you only have a vision for your next few minutes or hours or even days, then you are doomed to mediocrity. You will watch TV and you will let your proactive supervisor tell you what to do 8 hours a day as you waste your time and you waste your life. When I was 21 years old, I got my first Army paycheck as a second lieutenant. I started to giggle and was so happy that I actually got paid for doing something I loved to do. I knew that when I retired as a lieutenant colonel at age 41, I wanted to not work for the rest of my life, so I had to begin with the end in mind. I started to save and to invest. I bought a house and planned to have it paid off before I retired. I saved so that the year before I retired, I could buy my wife a big and safe vehicle. I also knew that during my last year in the Army, it would be a good idea to test out and get accustomed to living off of my retirement pay. All of this I planned when I was 21, before I even knew my wife, and now I spend all day, every day with those I love. The next habit involves prioritization. We all have hundreds of events competing for our time, our focus, and our energy. And so we must give our best time, our best energy, and our best focus to our priorities. Imagine your inbox at work. You might have 50 emails. 3 are from your boss, 3 are from the CEO, and 1 is from your wife. All of the rest are from colleagues, customers, and spam. I love my wife, and I plan to spend the rest of my life with her. So of course, she is priority number 1. I check out her email to see if there's an emergency or if she's just sending me a quick I love you note or a reminder. Then I read and take action on the emails from my boss and CEO. Then I do the work that I have proactively assigned to myself to do that day. And finally, after all of this is done, I dedicate the last 30 minutes of my day to reading, filing, and answering the remaining emails in my inbox. I am not a slave to mail because mail is not my priority. I see the big picture. I am proactive and I know what needs to be done. I do what is most important first. The third habit of highly effective people is to put first things first. Not every discussion, negotiation, or situation results in one side winning and the other side losing. Use your emotional intelligence and find a solution in which everyone wins. The author tells a story of making a win-win agreement with his 16-year-old daughter over the use of the family car. If the daughter agreed to keep making good grades, keep doing her required household chores, obey traffic laws, keep the car clean, and occasionally drive her brother and sister around town for errands, then the parents would pay for the car insurance, and gas money. The parents get a responsible teenager, a clean car, and someone to help drive the other kids around. The daughter gets a car and some independence. This is a win-win. Both parties come out of the situation happy. The fourth habit of highly effective people is to think win-win. Imagine that you're at the doctor's office. Before you can tell him about your symptoms, he writes you a prescription and kicks you out of the consultation room. What a jerk. The author of the book recommends that you diagnose before you prescribe. A diagnosis requires understanding what is happening to the patient. This means that the doctor should actually listen to what you say so that they can make a correct diagnosis. Sadly, many leaders are not good listeners. They are good at one-way communication, but they are not good at two-way communication. The fifth habit of highly effective people is to seek first to understand, then to be understood. 1 + 1 is equal to 3. This is called synergy. The multiple of a collaboration is greater than the sum of its individual parts. We get this term from pharmacology. When you take 2 pills, it has the effect of 2 pills. But if you drink alcohol and then take the 2 pills, the mixture of the alcohol and the pills has the effect of taking 10 pills. You can overdose and die. This is called the synergistic effect. Synergy also works for teams and in the marketplace. This is why there are so many collaborations on the internet and in business. Louis Vuitton sells amazing designer products. Supreme sells awesome skater clothes. Put them together and they are now selling skater clothes to the elite and elite clothes to skaters. The 6th habit of highly effective people is to synergize. The team is always stronger than the sum of its members. The last habit of highly effective people involves preparation. Special operators prepare for war by going to the hardest schools, doing the most difficult training. They have the most intense fitness programs in the world. They train harder and longer than everyone else. They are absolutely better prepared for the day of execution. Check out this telephone pole. If you have a dull saw, you can probably saw this telephone pole in half in 10 minutes. But if you have a sharp saw, you can saw this telephone pole in half in 2 minutes. The 7th habit of highly effective people is that they sharpen the saw. Spend time up front preparing for your project, for your mission, for your meeting. When you arrive sharp and prepared, you will have a quicker and more successful execution. Okay, so there you have it, an executive summary of the best leadership principles from the #1 best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Although I like this book, I also like to pick on this book. I don't need 371 pages of feel-good stories to learn the 7 habits of highly effective people. I need 7 sentences to tell me what they are. I'm smart enough to figure the rest out. The fluff simply slows me down. Feel-good books sell millions of copies to people who want to feel good. I don't want you to feel good, I want you to be good. Nonetheless, I hope you learned something new and are now a more capable leader. Thanks for learning. Don't forget to subscribe and to share with a friend who needs to know this.